there, it's me, that D-O-double-G, and welcome, one and all, to the award-winning Absolute Football Podcast. And if you like your football content the best, and you like it new, and you like best new content, this is the place to be. This is where we are at. And you know, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. And I think that must have been what Rebecca's been doing recently, wishing to be on a star, because everything she's wanted has been going on at the moment. All the good news is for you. Rebecca, how are you this evening?
I'm very good, thank you. Recovering from a very hectic Saturday, but apart from the result, it all went really well with our dedicated fixture. And then I've had two quite good results on Sunday and yesterday.
It's so bizarre. It is so bizarre. I mean, and for those of you that might have noticed, there's two of us. Now, it's thrown us a bit into a wobble. Hannah, unfortunately, has been caught up at work, so she's meant to be here eventually. Now, the issue that we have is this podcast is based on having three people capable of talking about football. We were off to a bad start because I was here already, and so that whittled us down to two, and now there's just Rebecca. So lot of pressure on this girl's shoulders this evening. But I mean, what we've got you here, I believe Sam allowed you to mention your dedicated Her Game 2 fixture last week, but tell us, how did it all go?
It went really well. It was a bit chaotic as expected, but yeah, we had ASFC Her Game 2 cowboy hats on the day that I designed. So we were able to get all of the players, staff. We got the assistant manager in it as well, and loads of fans. It was a really positive day, spreading the word of Her Game 2, and we did get a lot of positive feedback. And more people are now aware of Her Game 2, and they're starting to understand a bit more about the campaign and why it's needed.
And Graham in the chat. Good evening, Graham. Where's the hat? Oh my! Why aren't you fucking the hat? I cowboy hats are all the rage, you know. I've been watching Yellowstone, so that's what it's all about, isn't it? Where's the hat? Where's your 10-gallon hat?
It's in another room. Jordy has one, and then mine's in another room away in a drawer somewhere at the minute. Trying to find room for it.
On your head, best place to keep it. Sleep in it, wear it to school. All the cool kids would love it. I mean, and in case anybody isn't aware, tell us a little bit about Rebecca. What is Her Game 2? But she's frozen. If she's frozen and she's gone, and it's just me, we're in a world of trouble. Well, but I tell you, while Rebecca's figuring herself out, in the chat there is Graham. Obviously, there is Graham. There's Zach as well. Good evening, Zach. Hope you're doing well. And Heather. Don't know what to do. Do you know this whole show? We were going to go through Everton first. Oh, there she is. Oh, thank Jesus. Oh, I was about to think, shit. That's good. I'm so relieved. But what I was saying was, Rebecca, just in case people don't know, let us know what is Her Game 2 and what is the mission?
Her Game 2 is a campaign. We're all volunteers, and we are all striving towards trying to kick sexism out of football and make all sports a safer place for women to go and enjoy, and also try and bridge the gap between men and women. So it's like trying to promote the women's game as much as we possibly can, and also try and make sure that everyone is provided with equal opportunities to be able to make their way into the sport.
Oh, super. And do you know what? It's just I asked because Zach didn't know. Zach wanted to know, and there you are. You've been educated. And as an FYI, last week, I want to say last week, Sunday, it might have been a Sunday, we did drop a video on the podcast. We're all about, I think it was it Bristol City or Bristol Rovers? It's something. Do you know there was an error and something threw me on that. Well, it's Bristol Rovers, and Kaz, who is the founder of Her Game 2, was kind enough to give us our time with Sam and Charlotte, so you can check that out. That is up on the YouTube. You'll have to do it now though, If you do it now, you're going to miss out on something that I wasn't sure that we'd see again. But an Everton win. Everton won a game of football. Oh, my Oakville fruit days. Rebecca, how did that make you feel?
Oh, I can't believe it still. I mean, we never make wins easy, do we? I think that is like the motto of Everton at the minute. They don't make anything easy, but I went into the match thinking a draw because both Everton and Tottenham haven't been on the best run of form. We've not been able to score. So you just didn't know what was going to happen. Like, yeah, we've got Moyes in and there's a whole change happening with that, but you just never know what will happen with Everton because it's Everton at the end of the day and they're just a bit everywhere. I do have to say that was one of the best performances I've seen us put in. We were playing higher up and we were getting the wingers more involved with the likes of Mikalenko was higher, and I know he has had a bit of stick from Everton fans with him being quite a defensive left back under Dash, but we were able to let him higher up the pitch. Jesper Lindstrom, he started. We benched Jack Harrison. I don't think I've seen Lindstrom play that well since a pre-season against Preston, which is like, it just wasn't working under Dyson. But whichever Lindstrom we had on Sunday, please can we just keep him for the rest of the season and further on, because he made the difference on Sunday. We also started Jake O'Brien, so we went for a bit more of a back three with, we have units of centre backs. We've got Jake O'Brien that's 6'6", Jared's at 6'5", and then Tarkowski's over 6 foot. So we do have a very, very tall defence, and I don't think you can find anyone taller than Jared Branthwaite, but we have. We were getting more chances into the box, and we were having chance after chance after chance, which is a lot more positive than what we have had, where there were just balls flying everywhere and there was no one in the box to be able to get on the end of them. Calvert-Lewin, he is finally back on the score sheet, and I think it's a relief for everyone when we saw that goal go in. It was a very well worked goal for Calvert-Lewin. I mean, his footwork and just being able to play it how he did was really nice, and it just showed he has got a bit of his confidence back, whether that is already because he's under a different manager and we've got Moyes now putting the confidence more into Dom, and there's like the new energy and positivity around the atmosphere of Everton. So whether it's that, and Calvert-Lewin now just has that backing of the manager again. So it is really positive. And then Illiman and Dye, he has been our standout player this season in all of the difficulties we've had. I don't think that lad can ever have a bad game. He is an incredibly talented player, and the way he runs our midfield, he does everything right for us, and it's really good. He won the possession in midfield, just took it halfway line, just took it straight down back at net. And you do have that thing in the back of your head of, this is Everton, this is 2-0. What are we doing? We've seen 2-0s, but you've got to try and get rid of the panic in the back of your head. And then we went 3-0 up, which I think the last time we scored more than 3 goals was our last win, which was Wolves. And 2 of them goals were from Craig Dawson. So there was an own goal in this one, but I feel as though, I think it was Jake O'Brien was stood behind the Tottenham defender. So either way, I think that goal was going in. It was just unfortunate that it came off the Spurs player than O'Brien. But we'll take a goal anyway we can, because as I've said, we've not been scoring recently. We hadn't won in 7 matches, I believe, in the league. We had cup wins, but in the league it had been a very, very difficult time. But we don't make it easy. Spurs came out in the second half, made the changes, brought on Richarlison, and they did come out fighting in the second half. Everton, we did make changes, and I applaud Moyes for the changes he did make. Lindstrom, who it was his first start in a while, he started, first half he was incredible, and then the second half we did start to seem to tire. He threw in a bit of a silly challenge, got booked, and he was straight off from that point, which we would not have seen with Dyche. So it was having that just one little change that made the difference for us, because we could have left him on and it could have ended up being 3-3 at the end of it because we had a very tired player on the pitch, but he made the calls when they needed to be. Of course, Richarlison scored. I think whenever he comes back to Goodison, and he'll always score against us, but
selfish tosser, isn't he?
It was a bit of a kick, but it was honestly the best I've seen Everton play. There were 2 penalty shouts in the match, one for Tottenham and one for Everton. Neither of them given, but both of them could have been given. So it is what it is with them, but it's a huge 3 points for us. Hopefully carry on in the league and carry on the positivity of this, and hopefully with Moyes and the changes he made, it does look very positive for us.
All right, so what you said about Everton making you nervous, still over on Twitch. 30 minutes after the game finished, I was still worried Spurs might get an equaliser. Which tickled me. Graham saying Spurs went full Spurs and Everton did their best at the end to try and go full Everton when it went 3-2, but the nerves were huge. I can imagine. Do you know, if it wasn't you, I'd make inappropriate nervousness toilet jokes, but it's been a while. I'm going to break you in gently. I'm not going to go straight in with the comments that just make you break down in its entirety. But I mean, we'll get into just what a shower of proverbial Spurs are in a bit. But I haven't got a chance to speak to you about Moisey going back. That was, I imagine you might have covered this on another week, but don't care. I wasn't here, so it doesn't matter to me. But Mike, does he come back with good grace from the fans? Because I don't think he didn't leave under a cloud or any negativity. Are you all happy welcoming him back with great big snuggles and cuddles and flowers and kisses?
Yeah, we're all happy to have Moyes back. I think the length of his contract is one that fans were a bit undecided on, because there were quite a few rumours whether it was going to be he takes over until the end of the season or whether it's going to be like a year and a half. So we do Bramley Moore next year with him and then we move on from there. But I think it's a 2.5 year deal. So it is, I think Everton fans are happy. We've needed a manager that understands Everton for Everton, and you've got that with Moyes. He knows the layout of the club, and he's got the backing of like Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman with him now, who he's had before with him. We've seen what he can do with Everton. I think we had some of our highest finishes under him. Europe could be a shout for next season potentially, and it's one of them where we did just seem to hit a wall with Dyche. Like, he did what he had to do last season with everything that was thrown at him with the points deduction, but you look at Forest this season, they were in the same situation as us last season with the points deduction where they were in the league. They've pushed on, and I don't think I've ever seen a comeback season like this from Forest, and they are doing incredibly well in the league, and I feel as though Everton could have done the same, but we just stalled with Dyche. So I do feel though Everton fans are glad to have Moyes back, especially with West Ham. He was able to get them into Europe. They won. So it's like having that positivity just back into the club. And it's also quite fitting the fact that he will see us out of Goodison and into Bramley Moore. I feel as though that is quite nice to have.
I mean, Graham was saying the same thing. That's meant to say, Moyes, I'll let you off, Graham. I'm feeling generous today, you know. I'm feeling a little bit generous. So not lies. It's not lies. Moyes will bring stability for the new owners and then move to a Bramley dock. And Zach's asking, is Moyes playing a 3-4-3 or is he mixing it up a bit?
I think he mixed it up a bit. Because I do feel as though we had Jake O'Brien more as a right back than a centre back for a bit of it. So I think we did have a back four, but then with the subs we made, it did alter everything, because I think we ended up with Michael Keane on and Nathan Patterson, so that would have been the three. So he plays a bit of everything, it seems. think he's still trying to figure out what he wants from Everton and how he wants them to play, because he hasn't had the longest time with it.
Bless his little heart. Graham saying you have to remember, Becca, as Dyche said, the results have been good if you had some wins. I like Dyche as a manager and as a character to have in the league. I like him. I think he's bloody lovely, is Dyche. But do you know, it felt a bit like for me when I saw, because I don't know if anyone's noticed. Nobody might not care, but I've come off social media recently just so I don't have to deal with all the lunatics and mental Arsenal fans. But when I saw the video, it was a little bit like when you have a family and you grow up with your dad, and then your dad has to go away to work on an oil rig, and then you think there's been some sort of disaster, and he's disappeared, and a bit like Tom Hanks in whatever the island Castaway, that film, and he's disappeared, and you sort of think, well, dad's gone now and we have to move on, and you're trying to find like a stepdad to replace it, then all of a sudden he's come back and he's come back home, and that's what this sort of looks like for me. Is that what it feels? Is that a good analogy? Did you like that one?
Yeah, that is quite good.
Has dad come back home now, is he? Especially for like Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman, because I'm sure they were about 14 when he was at Everton. I think he would have been like 14 years old and then left when they were like just becoming adults, and now he's back again. And they're all having like little cuddles in the dressing room and telling dad stories about where have you been the last couple of years. But it's lovely. But it's a lovely, wholesome environment in that dressing room now. As Graham said here, my show, can do what we want. Tell you what I don't know. Literally, I don't know about Everton's owners. What's happening? Have you got new owners now?
Yeah, we have the Friedkin group. They signed. They've been given full Everton. We've been given the keys to Bramley Moor now, I believe. So it is our stadium. We just don't. I think we're still looking at trying to find someone that wants the naming rights of it. So please, someone with a decent name, buy the naming rights. We don't want anything stupid.
Bramley Dog. Well, you want like Mr. Kipling, don't you? Really, because he does this like Bramley apple pies. You could just have like still keep the Bramley name in there, like Bramley Apple Pie Stadium. Oh, lovely. That's wholesome. Lovely, wholesome story that would be. Mr. Kipling as his senior sponsor. Old Daddy Moisey back with all the boys. I think that's lovely. What else we got? Zach thinks Crypto Stadium. Graham's good. Silly sausages. Bramley Dock. Silly. Though so silly. I mean, any other names? We'll take any sort of suggestions. Have you got a sponsor that you'd like to have? Like for like the Spotify Arena or Elon Dock or anything? No.
Just whatever sounds Everton, I think, is like the main thing, because it's like you're going from Goodison Park, which everyone knows, and I think that name will live on forever in terms of like being Everton's home. So it's like just having one that can fit into the songs as well as Goodison Park has.
So you want something that's lyrically kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not like when you're trying to do a Christmas song and you're trying to think of something that rhymes with Rudolph. something that works. I love this, Grimmy. Grimmy in the chat. Good evening, Grimmy. Any suggestions for a name for Everton Stadium? Because I don't know. I mean, my excitement for naming Everton Stadium is sort of on the wane a little bit. Shockingly, that's not the top of this agenda, but I'm sure something for a giggle we'll have to come up with. We'll put our thinking caps on. We can't afford to sponsor the stadium as a podcast, unfortunately, even though we're award-winning podcasts, and the Absolute Football Stadium is a banging name for a football stadium. We just it's just not happening. Shaw's Ground. Are you gonna get your dollar bills out?
Use my student loan on Bramley Moor Dock.
That'll be it. And Grace, how can you? What is this? Gladys? What is that? Gladys at Street End? What is this?
That's the home end at Goodison. So you've got Park End, the Philip Carter Park stand, I believe it is. So that's like Park End where I sometimes sit. And then across from that, you've got Gladys Street. I don't know why it's spelt with a W. but it's the lad.
It's glad, like in the Welsh national anthem, I was like Fellaini Field. Oh, I like that. Fellaini Field. I'm all about that. And do you know what else I'm all about? It's Hannah. Oh my days. That's like,
I'm
do you know what?
sorry I'm late. I'm sorry. Please pardon.
It's all right. Do you know what? We've been vamping like a song. I'm such a team player. We've been talking about Everton for like 15 minutes.
You have, Josh. Wow.
Well, I've been listening.
I'm sure to Rebecca's expertise. And well done on the win. I'm sure that was amazing. I know how you feel. Well, I don't know how you feel, but United are in similar.
Well, yeah. You're in time because someone you can empathise with, and we're just about to come on to this Tottenham Hotspur, who are just
with a terrible team.
Toilet. What is going on? So, seeing as you're here, Rebecca's got to enjoy the joys of Everton winning the game and a good performance. So I don't want her to have to sully her team's good performance by pointing out how crap Spurs are. So, Han, you could do that. Spurs, poo, in they.
Yeah, Everton were really good because sometimes performances can be diluted when they're like, well, the other team was so bad, because United gets that a lot. Like, well, United must have been crap because the other team were crap, but Everton were really good and Spurs were really bad. I don't know what's happening to them at the moment. It's the amount of goals that they concede. Please take all of this from me with a pinch of salt, by the way. I'm not talking as a United fan right now. I'm just talking as because I know it's like pot kettle black, and you probably started thinking like how, but I don't run the team anyway. Spurs terrible, and I'm worried about Ange, but in the same breath, I don't know what he'll have to do to get sacked, because they are on. I know, like where me and Spurs are, where Spurs and United are in the table. It's very close, but like it's 2 points, and 2 points is like 2 draws if we don't win the next game, which is against Fulham, which we probably won't. But I don't know where like Spurs' hope comes from at the minute, because my hope as a United fan is the new manager. He's not signed a player yet, but Spurs are seasons into this project now, and I don't think it's the manager. I think it's the owners. I think there's a lot of terrible owners in the Premier League at the moment, but with their injuries and with their probably the things that are going on in the background, because it can't be good like at that club at the minute, as I know that feeling as well. But I don't know when it gets better for them, because unless they start getting all these players back from injury, like now, which they're not expected to do. I know some are coming back. I just don't know where it gets better for them, to be honest. And I keep thinking it can't get worse. And then like Solanke got injured, and they're just every single day it's like they're dropping players. So their physios need talking to as well.
Terrible. I'm the same as you with Angela. I think when I see him, it's like he doesn't care. It's not like, and I'm not saying he doesn't care, but I'm like, to deal with all the aggro is a bit like, it must be like Groundhog Day, because what can you do? I mean, like you said, to get sacked, I think he'd have to get caught chicken molesting outside the stadium to get sacked at the moment.
That needs to go on a t-shirt.
I just don't think the owners of that first. Oh, look at that clip Rebecca now. The internet was frozen on a cracking pose there. That was really good. They're dry in your face then. But I agree with him saying maybe they shouldn't have got rid of Nuno.
But, that was managers ago, though, wasn't it? That was like.
But you look at them: Jose, Nuno, Conte. Who was the other one? Ryan Mason. They in all seriousness, they've had good managers. And I think it's a little bit like, and I'm not trying to be an ass, but it's a bit like the issue at United is I don't think it's necessarily that the manager, but I think the big difference is I don't necessarily think it's the players at Spurs. I think it's the club's just it's bust, isn't it?
Yeah, and Spurs. The thing about Spurs is that, I mean, it depends on the way that you're looking at it and what lens you're looking at it through. But on paper, like Spurs I've got some absolutely quality players. And I feel like they've all kind of dipped in form at the same time, as well as all these injuries. It is baffling, but they're kind of like us, not in the sense that I think they're going to get relegated, but things need to change and pretty fast, because but how many games are there left? We're on like match week, 23? That's like 3 months left.
13 games, isn't it, roughly?
That's not a lot. That'll go fast.
It's unnerving. I mean, because like you said, Son, Madison, Kulusevski, they're on Poro, Sarr. It's not like, I mean, Ben Davies is the only sort of name that I saw in defence, but they said Richarlison coming on. It's not. They have got lots of injuries, but I mean, Zach's asking how's the culture at Spurs, and I was going to sort of touch. I think I don't know if as a club, I think the ownership makes it devoid of any sort of culture. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they've done anything. Whereas you had like Liverpool had Klopp to try and create something there, and we've got that emphasis on the fan base that creates something. I mean, even Everton, the fan base and the character of the club is all created and through the runs through the club. But Spurs, I don't see anybody trying to do anything there. You know.
No, it is interesting. It'll be interesting to see compared to us how they do now, because we're like level pegging. It's the same for like, I feel the same about like West Ham. Palace have crept up out of nowhere. I don't regard Palace, no offense, but it'll be interesting to see where these clubs go, because at the moment we're all like Everton as well. I know it's very recently changed, but like we've all been kind of struggling from terrible ownership. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, Everton are only 4 points behind Spurs with the
I
game in
know.
hand.
Well, like, I mean, Rebecca, do you think the game in hand, which is the Merseyside derby, do you think they could get points? How do you feel about that?
We're winning that match, I'm telling you now. Moisey's first Merseyside derby back.
Is it at Anfield or?
No, it's at Goodison.
We've got 2 to play, haven't we? We've got both of them to do.
Wednesday night at Goodison.
Oh, is it Wednesday? Oh, Josh, he's steady, quaking in the big Everton fine form. You're gonna play them.
Do you know what? I had a look through because statistically, I know we're not talking about Liverpool, but I think statistically we need to win out of our last. I mean, what we've done 21 games. We've done 21, so we've got 15 games left to play. On the basis that every other team wins all of their games behind us, just on that basis, if we win our last 11 out of those 15, 10 or 11 out of 15 games, we should be there, and that's on the provision that nobody else sort of goes crazy. So I'd rather not lose at Merseyside derby, but if there's a game that it's gonna go, I'm all right with that. Yeah, because we've got some nice, we've got a lot of winnable games between that, and I reckon I could pick 10 out of there, but we'll see. I got a bit. I normally do though think the Merseyside derby is like our 6-pointer every season, and last season was the exception that proved the rule.
I feel as though if it was when it was meant to be played, and I'm saying this with gritted teeth, I do think you would have taken it because of the form we were in at that moment, and like it was just horrendous. Like I've never celebrated a match being postponed as much as I did the Merseyside derby. Like I'm there running around my house like we've just won league. I'm telling you.
Bad weather.
Yay! But I think when it is,
I agree.
Especially with the manager change now, it is like we're on the up, hopefully. So I do feel as though it couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah,
and it's quite tight for us because I think we got a game on the 1st, the 6th, the 9th, the 12th, and the 16th. So it's in the middle of quite a congested period. The only sort of saving grace we're playing Plymouth is the game on the 9th before. So I'd like to, and it's in the FA Cup 4th round, and I'd like to think we could rest some players for that. I look at that, Graham. Just make me sick. I thought we were friends,
Go on, Graham.
Yeah.
Just spoil that, don't they? And he's saying he thinks Danny Levy needs to take a lot of heat for the current situation at Spurs.
For sure.
But I just don't think anyone cares. That's what it feels like when I look at Spurs. I don't think anybody cares. Who cares in their upper echelons of the club,
I think as well, just going back to Ange, like the mask has kind of slipped with him. Like I have a lot of respect for him, but he's going to do himself a disservice because he's already come out and said, I win things in my second season. If he doesn't win the Carabao Cup now, he's going to look like a
what a willy.
And also, he's not going to win the Carabao Cup. It's either going to be Liverpool or Newcastle. And don't quote me on this, but I kind of hope it's Liverpool, because to you guys, it's just an energy drink cup. But to Newcastle, that'll be like the World Cup. And I can't stand Newcastle. So I actually kind of hope Liverpool win it, because you guys are like, whatever. Anyway, but him coming out at the end of that game, like Everton deserved to win that game. You weren't good enough. And he comes out and says to the reporter, like, the reporter, fair enough, says, same story as late. Like, bear in mind, Tamworth went toe-to-toe with them and would have got a replay if it wasn't for the FA. So he then obviously says to the reporter, like, that's a good way to start an interview. Like, you moody bugger. The amount of abuse Amorim got, Ten Hag got, all the other managers in the Premier League got, Klopp used to get it. Like, shut up. I actually think the media are being really kind to Spurs, because if this was, well, it is Man United, let's be honest, but the shit I see every day, excuse me, I'm sorry, I see about Man United, and like no one's talking about, oh, Spurs are going to get relegated, but that's all I hear every day. Man United are going to get relegated. They're 2 points worse than us, and their manager cracking up. At least Amorim can address things and say, we are the worst Man United team. Whether you think that's going to be good for the dressing room or not, he's realistic. He's very realistic. And I think is kind of going how Ten Hag did, and I didn't want to admit it, but he was kind of going to like delusion a little bit at the end. And I feel that's the way that Andrew's going. And I don't think he's got long left. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and I tell you what made me, I saw some videos doing the rounds on social media on him prepping for today with people abusing Son. Fans abusing Son.
That makes me sad.
What is that? That's like somebody, like taking a chocolate off a child, eating it in front of them, and then spitting it back in their face and kicking their mum in the ass. That's just like, that's horrible with Sonny. How can you have all the players? I think you can levy abuse at Spurs.
I think it doesn't warrant it, but the thing I see from Spurs is, well, he's been, absolutely awful all season. Obviously, that never warrants abuse, but I think as captain, he gets it in the neck. But he's like the sweetest, nicest, loveliest, most humble guy, and you see him at Everton, like he stood there in front of the fans going, I'm sorry. Half of our dressing room wouldn't do that. They'd be damn tunnel. At least he's going up to people like, what can he do at the end of the day? It's not just him, it's his whole team. But they're blaming the wrong guy, I think.
He's there apologising. Richarlison's doing a lap of goodies and applauding all Everton fans, and Everton fans are singing his name. It's that bit probably.
That was funny. Like, they lost their head about that too. Funny. Yeah.
I mean, I'm reading online now. There's a Tottenham website, TottenhamHotspurNews.com, and the headline is Tottenham fans shouldn't be surprised if Son pushes for an exit after the treatment he's received. He's had 6 goals and 6 assists in 19 games with that team playing the way that they play, and he's 32.
That's like, those are good numbers.
Yes, I say he should have come to Liverpool years ago. That's what he should have done. Old sorry. And Heather's saying he's the cutest player ever. Nobody can hate Son. I know no one can hate Son. He's so lovely.
Everton fans do and were booing Son purely just because of what he did to Gomez many, many years ago, and I don't think Everton fans have ever forgiven him for that. But it wasn't even his fault. I think it was just a collision, and I think it was more how Gomez went over and they broke his leg, but he was out for ages. We never had the same Andre Gomez back, so that's why Everton fans aren't the biggest fans of Son.
But didn't he apologise and everything? I'm pretty sure he went to the hospital to see him, didn't he?
He did everything. He even got. It wasn't a red, but he not happily, but he happily took the red and was like,
yeah, I know. He's just what a sweetheart. I mean,
Everton fans are just stubborn and hold a grudge against anyone at this point, I think.
At least you've got a culture and an identity which is lacking at Spurs. There's a bit of support for you here, Hannah. Graham's saying at least on here. You can say stuff and people respect your opinion, discuss it like adults, and like other places where you just get utter shit thrown at you.
It's been a week. Well, every week's a week on my Twitter if you haven't. But yeah, it's crazy. People are nuts on that app. But anyway,
I've come off. I've come off social media. I haven't done anything for like a month. Oh, awesome! I can't go on. There's just mentals on there.
Oh yeah, I tweeted something today about we need to be selling like Casemiro and all them before Garnacho, and everyone's like, well, it's because of PSR, like I'm some kind of idiot. Anyway, can we talk about United so it's over and done with? Because I don't want to end my evening on a negative, to be honest.
That is the next one. We're waiting special for.
No, thank you. I just want to kind of like get it over and done with.
Because I didn't want to do it to you because I thought it's been ages. The first time that you've been on in a while, first time I've been on in a while. I thought I don't want to like shat on your day, but team's crap, isn't they?
Worst United team ever.
Apparently,
I don't think that's the case. I think on paper it's not. Like in practice it is, but on paper it's actually not amazing, but it's not horrible.
Do you know what? For me, the one of in recent history, one of the worst United teams ever won the Premier League under Alex Ferguson. in my book, but United won Brighton 3. How did it make you feel?
Disappointed but not surprised. That's putting it very mildly. I can't say how I really feel on him because poor Absolute Football podcast would be banned.
Rebecca doesn't care. She's had enough.
That's how I feel. Can I jump off? It was another incredibly frustrating game, but I said going into it, Brighton have won the last 2 seasons at Old Trafford. I was there last season when we lost 3-1. Same old story. The problem that I have with the team at the moment, and I can't wrap my head around it, is how can we go to the Emirates, to Anfield, and get a result with 10 men when the other teams have had 12 men, and you can say all you want, some of the refereeing decisions in those games were abhorrent. Anyway, how can we go to these places and get a result? How can we knock Arsenal out of the FA Cup on their own patch and then go and almost lose to Southampton, make them look like prime Real Madrid, and then go and lose again at home to Brighton? There's no words, and I don't get it. Like, because if we were just consistently awful all the time, I'd be like, whatever. But the grit and the fight that they showed at the Emirates when they went down to 10 men and they played better, like, where is that team? Like, we see them for an hour, 2 hours at most. Like, they performed at the Etihad again in December. I don't get it. If you said to me, what would your wins be under Amorim? It wouldn't have been City, a draw at Anfield, beating Arsenal, and then drawing to Ipswich, losing to Wolves. Like, it's crazy. And I don't know what the answer is, but I have to, for my mental health, have to remain positive and just think he's actually not signed a player yet. I think it's been like 12 games. It's stressful, but the all I can hope for now, and I would never have thought at the start of the season or ever, I'd say this as a United fan, a good season now is avoiding relegation. And I am genuinely concerned about relegation. I think the only thing that is helping me sleep slightly at night is that Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton are really bad. And if it isn't Ipswich, it'll be Wolves because of the amount of goals that Wolves are conceding. But yeah, I'm just lost for words, and I feel sorry for Amorim, and I just don't know what the answer is. But I have to remain positive, Josh, because what else can I do?
I mean, Heather's just chucking a dig in there as well, getting pumped by Bournemouth.
Exactly. Everyone's won against us. It's crazy. There's no logic to it, and I don't understand. So people are like, Hannah, what do you think the solution is? You know, as a long-term Man United fan, I've got no idea. The only thing we've got to sit back and do is wait and see if we bring anyone in January, and then starting from scratch again in summer. I just want us to, I know like they won't raise much money, but I just want us to get rid of the deadwood. Get respectfully, and I mean this so respectfully, we've just loaned Anthony out. Like, we should be selling him, but a loan is better than nothing. Like, what can you do? But it's like Evans, Shaw, Casemiro, Lindelof, get out of my club, you dossers. Like, you're earning £300,000 a week and you're not even playing, which isn't their fault, but it is at the same time because they're all past it. And particularly, and I have a thing about Victor Lindelof, the fact that he's still at my club is insane. So yeah, I'm just like lost for words, and I don't know what to say. And it's really hard to know like when the next win's coming from, because How can you guess it? How can you like broach when United are next going to show up? My guess is as good as yours.
I don't know if you've seen, there's a video of Paul Scholes has been asked, who would you sell?
Oh,
And it's like everyone, De Ligt.
he said De Ligt. I was like, he's been our best centre back. Are you mad? He has been so good for him and Maguire in our defence. Ugarte and Ahmad are the only slight rays of hope in that squad. So the fact he said De Ligt, and what is it about Manchester United legends, I will just say, that they've all become so unlikable? Like Gary Neville, like Scholes, Roy Keane. Like, why are they all so horrible? And why do they all like really hate us now? It's just really silly. Anyway, yeah, that's how I
negative.
feel.
I like this one.
So Brighton were really good. Brighton schooled us. But that penalty was the right call, I will say that. That's the only shred of hope I got from that afternoon, that we got a penalty decision. But anyway, that's how I feel.
Victor Bindeloff, I like that from
I
Sean.
love that. I might use that. If I use that on my Twitter, I'll give you a credit, Sean.
Victor Bindeloff.
Yeah, just terrible. What do you think? Don't laugh, just from a non-Liverpool fan perspective, because I don't want to hear the gloating.
Fully neutral. I think the club's been run poorly. I think that's your biggest problem. It's such a long time of being run poorly. And what's unnerved me from a neutral football perspective is the new ownership look like they're just going to do just as bad a job. I don't think they've got the right, because they're running it. There's running things like a business, but you've got to take into appreciation what the business is.
Yeah.
So, if you're selling windows, it's a different sale to selling, a kitchen. They're two different items. So you wouldn't apply window sales techniques to selling a bath, because they're two different things.
Yeah.
And it feels like they've gone in, well, look at all this excess expense that's going into you. We'll strip all of this out. We'll strip all of that. And the thing is, because it's such a human-based, it's a sport. So it's teams. It's so people orientated. When you start stripping people out, stripping people's benefits, and the whole atmosphere around the club must be horrible. When you've got all the staff, like the day after they all had their redundancy notices, because something seemed like 300 people, and then they're saying, you've got all of these, no Christmas party, can't have a Christmas party, or we're not paying. One of the highest revenue clubs in world football, but we're not going to contribute towards your Christmas party. And I think stuff like that is what's impacting it. And then, like I said, because it's not run well, some of the signings I've sort of haven't made huge sense. I got a bit of Xerxes. I don't know what I quite see there. I thought he really let himself down. It was Xerxes that grabbed his Willy Wanga and thought waving that around was a good way to celebrate the goal.
That was. I thought that was funny. I said it was woke that he might get banned, but football is football.
I just it's silly things like that. I thought, what are you doing, mate? You're getting battered. You're getting battered in a game. That's the wrong time for it. Do you know what I mean? If you were 2-0 down and he scored the third goal to put you to 3-2 after having loads of abuse, then I sort of get it. But like, what are you doing? you're playing really bad, and yeah. So I think these I would worry, because it's that background that needs to change, and I imagine Amarin is really quite disturbed by the fact that he's been brought into this club, and he would have known, as a Portuguese guy, he will think of United as they were, because because you've still got a name on the continent and across the world for the most, one of the most successful world football teams ever, and the prestige that you had. So he's probably got that in his mind. He's come in and thinking, well, the press room was leaking, the roof has been leaking during games he's come in, and he's been there while they've been sacking staff and refusing to pay for Christmas parties. And the perception of all of that, that's what unnerves me. If I was a United fan, those are the things that would make me the most nervous about what the hell's going on, because that's going to impact people, and it's not good. I mean, it's a husky man. Hannah's biting his tongue, so much trying not to swear. I totally agree with you that getting rid of most of the team, also need to get rid of the Glazers and Ineos as well. So just flush them all out, apparently.
It's one of them. Like, I've had to, it sounds dramatic and it's not supposed to be as dramatic as it seems, but I've had to really detach from like the club and the team, in the last few months, because honestly, it's so horrible, because all that you ever see all the time is Man United. And the smallest of things, the biggest of things, like it's come out today that Amarin broke a telly because he was so fuming after the Brighton game. Like he smashed up, he was like screaming at the players, like kind of as he should. Like that's what our players need. They all need that. But like every single detail about that club comes out. So I've had to really be like focusing on what's important, because it's such a bad time. And at the moment, like you say, it's kind of, I don't know where it changes. The only thing that I can think of is we're over halfway through the season, just get to summer, a break for everyone. Hopefully they can get rid of some of these players. But it's so sad to see, because as much as I'm a United fan, like I miss when the league was competitive with like Arsenal, United. Do you know what I mean? Like the proper rivalries, Liverpool, Everton. Like when Everton were, finishing the European places. Like to me, it was like prime. And I don't know if we'll ever get that time back, because the other thing that makes us look even worse, like if we'd been this bad in the last few seasons, you might not have noticed it as much, but obviously the Premier League gets more and more competitive every single year. Like the standard this year is crazy. Like if you look at the top 10, that could be like some of them could be in the Championship. Like, and you'd look at that a few years ago and go, that's the Premier League top 10. So it gets harder for us, because the standard of the Premier, like even as much as we should have been beating Southampton, no one can deny, and of course they come to Old Trafford and they actually played really, really well. That was the best they've played all. And even then, like they're not a great team, but they've got some individual brilliance, like Sulemana, Dibbling, like they were so good at Old Trafford. So it's, when you have players like that make a difference, it just makes all the other teams more competitive, which is good. Because it's the hardest league in the world for a reason, and like the 20 teams that are in it need to be competing, but it does just make it harder. And we're not 15th, but I think we're like 13th. But it's stressful. Like we played Fulham away on Sunday. That's a game we haven't lost away at Fulham for years, and you just know exactly what's going to happen.
I wouldn't be banking on a result there.
No, they're in great form. I was the only result I was betting on recently was Southampton, and yes, we won, but we nearly didn't. Like we literally nearly did not. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I've got to stay positive. Like I say, if we don't get relegated, which, if we're being really honest, United aren't going to get relegated, then to me that's a good season. If the whistle goes on the final day and we're 16th, obviously that'll be terrible. But I'll take a nice deep breath and be like, okay, we go again. But yeah, not fun. Really not fun.
I mean, as long as you still got a good finance and the team doesn't go too bad, you've still got that name to pull people in. But like I thought, the worry would be is the fact that you are having, and it does sound like I'm digging them out, but I'm not. The fact that they're willing to pay money all the time, and take, like Yoro. Well, I think Yoro's a risk of a signing. There's a reason why clubs didn't want him behind his fiscal. Same thing with Amarin. It was a fiscal deal, but they're willing to do it, and you've got the name to pull it in. So that sort of works in your favour. But the worry will come is when that's it. When all you've got is the finances, that's where they're sort of heading to. It would be unnerving as a United fan, as a Liverpool fan. I want to see as many competitive teams just below us. that's
like 5 points below and just stay there.
Yeah, that's all I'm after. I mean, Zach's asking, does United have any type of stability within their club over the last few years?
We haven't since Fergie left, because the thing was, even though obviously mid Fergie reign the Glazers came in, we always had Fergie, like he was managed for so long, and then when he left, they just started obviously hiring and firing managers for fun. I think anything was going to look bad after his Fergie's reign, but the problem is we have just overspent on transfers, wages, everything. And now they're like, oh shit. And obviously, as time's gone on, PSR's got tighter. All that has made a difference, because as it should, I do think the top club should be capped. It has made a difference. So, like, for example, I can't really talk about this too much because I will get upset. Apparently, we're about to sell Garnacho for PSR reasons. And
That is mad, isn't it?
that is sickening. Like, that to me, like, is just a sign of the times. Like, it's so sad. Like, if they sell him, I'll be so upset if they sell him. But if they sell him to Chelsea, I would be pushed to lengths I have never felt with this club before. He goes to Napoli, fine. Really, we'll really miss him. We'll think it'll be silly, but at least it'll be £60 million. Like, that's amazing for our PSR because we bought him for like 400k. But it's so sad that we are forced to like potentially have to do something like this. So yeah, really fun.
Like I said, especially when you got like Casemiro in there and Eriksen.
Well, that's what I tweeted today, and it's got like 500,000 views, and it's got like 500 replies, Josh. And it's like, you don't understand how PSR works. I'm like, I'm not saying if PSR wasn't a thing. All I'm saying is, why do we have Casemiro on £350,000 a week, but we have to sell Garnacho? Like, although he's not perfect, he's a little bit rough around the edges. He is going to be so good. Everyone's forgetting he scored for us in an FA Cup final. Like, he's done a lot for us, especially in the last year. So to me, that's baffling, and it's really, really sad. I'm smiling.
And it's not. And you got to think, cause it's not just the transfer value; it's the contract that makes a difference to the balance books. So if you got 350 grand a week, you extrapolate that over the year. That's then going to be more. Well, will be more, but it'll be kicking around about a half decent transfer fee. You get rid of 2 players on that sort of level. You know, you're probably clearing 20 million off your books, and I can't imagine. I don't know, but I can't imagine people are going to be paying much more than sort of 20, 30 for Garnacho at the moment, given his age. Well, I don't know what offers are.
Apparently, we're selling him for 60 mil, and I think if we sell him, it should be 70. But I don't think we should sell him. So my opinion in that is kind of because we should sell him. He's awful. I'm like, he's the least of our problems. He is the least of our problems. Going back to wages, Eriksen's on like 250k a week. Johnny Evans won't be far off because he got a new contract and he's obviously a club legend. So yeah.
Do you know what I think? Do you know what I think would have helped? And this sounds bad, but I don't care. I'm really not asked. Because like you referred to like all the mentals on Twitter that just react to people for like attention and that, and they'll react certain ways to certain types of people. So like if someone like me, for example, a bald fat bloke says something, they'll just ignore me. If a woman has the audacity to make an opinion, you don't understand this, that, and the other. If Bruno Fernandes wasn't your captain and you had David Beckham, somebody who spoke really well, that was really good looking and suave, I think the perception would be really different,
Yeah, 100%. And that's the other thing, like everyone hates our captain. And whether that's right or wrong, I'm not going to get into that. I think Bruno isn't perfect. I don't like his whinging, but he is massively overhated and he's actually a very good footballer. But because he plays for United, where would we be without Bruno? Like, let's be honest.
Because it's whinging, the fact that he looks like Ronnie Raccoon, and
let's be kind, Josh. I thought this was
but that's the reason why, because people are like, because I don't like him because of his whinging. Well, if you actually look at him and what he does, most of the time, I think he's quite a good captain, and then off the field, what he does is quite good. But
he cares.
Yeah, and nobody really wants to look at it,
So Beck spoke well. Heather's just bringing it tonight. Go on, Heather. But yeah, that's us. But moving on, we're doing United.
It is what it is. I mean, and what I did want to touch on though, and because she's here as well, old Heather's in there. Newcastle 1, Bournemouth 4. Bournemouth giving them a spanking. I mean, Rebecca, did I ask you about this game? Because I can't remember if I said we were going to be covering it or not. Do you know anything about this game?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, tell us.
Turn my page in my notebook. No, I mean, Bournemouth are a very informed side, and I feel as though no matter who plays Bournemouth at the minute, you're going to get a very good match, and they are a very, very difficult team to beat at the minute. I mean, you're the centre-back of, is he Dean Howson? I don't know if I've pronounced that right, but I think he's known as like the chill guy for his celebration. incredible centre back. I think he's only 19. Such a strong presence at the back for Bournemouth, and I think he is like one of the standouts. I mean, Clivert with a hat trick. It's just Bournemouth are doing what Bournemouth do and what we've seen this season in terms of it is a very strong side, and they are proving why they are fighting for like the top half of the table and even higher up. And I do feel as though Newcastle had been on a good run, so you did expect it to be like quite a feisty match, but then it's one of them where there's no game past Bournemouth at the minute, and they proved it.
Yeah, they're doing well. I think, Justin Kluivert, I think I read somewhere, 4 goalless contributions, whatever stat number they give it. I think the 3 goals says first player to do that at an away game other than Salah this season.
Wow.
Oh, I know. And he's quite young, isn't he? Justin Kluivert, 19, is he, I want to say?
He's not old.
25, sorry. He's 25. Who was 9? Somebody's 19 somewhere, I'm sure, playing football somewhere.
Someone on that team will be around that age.
Yeah, I imagine. It's football, isn't it? But yeah, I thought that was quite good. I mean, Hannah, have you been impressed with Bournemouth?
Yeah, massively. I think to go to St James's Park and not only win, but win by 3 goals is insane work. And to get a hat trick at St James's Park, I respect it. And what a great game they had. I think the thing is with Bournemouth is a lot of people, including myself, massively underestimated them. And I think they've kind of just kept their head down, done their thing. And you look at the table and it's like, where are they? I've not looked. It's like 8th or 9th. They've just crept up. And it's interesting to me to see a team, like, a team is well coached when they have so many injuries and they still can play, and not only play but dominate games. Like they were so good on the press. They're just really fun to watch. 7th, thank you, Heather. Yeah, to be 7th, that's insane. Again, if you just said, this is where Bournemouth will be, even at the start of the season, is insane. And he's done a great job, and I think had it not been for Nuno, he would be up for, and he would be winning manager of the season. He might. I hope he's in contention for it. But yeah, what a fabulous job he's doing. And I think they're only going to get better. Like they'll be selling players in the summer. Like I know Kirkesh is probably going to go. I know Liverpool want him, United want him. But they're going to start they'll probably end up being like Brighton, where they get players for really cheap, they develop them well, and then they can sell them for a good profit. But they've just not looked like they're going to stop. And like I say, if they've got that many injuries and they can still, knock those kind of performances out of the bag, it just speaks a lot about the coach and the mindset of the whole team. It's it's in the subs, that haven't even played Premier League football yet this season. So I think when they start getting players back from injury as well, like they could be going for those Champions League spots. We'll see. It's going to be tight, and that's fun. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, great Real Madrid at Dean Court next season. Dare to dream. I love that. And Heather said they keep Andoni, they'll be really happy.
That's the one thing Bournemouth have got to maybe watch out for, is another club coming for their manager. But the thing is, I don't think Andoni, if he's got any sense, like he's doing, it's kind of like Nuno at Forest, like he's doing so well. Even if, Spurs, United, any of them came knocking, he would be mad to accept that. He should stay where he is and, kind of crack on and see where he gets to. It kind of reminds me of Xabi Alonso, like obviously when he won the title with Leverkusen last year, it's like, are you going to go to Madrid? And he's like, no, I want to do, at least another year. So it's nice for the managers to make the team successful and stay. But yeah, they'll do well to keep him.
Because that's what I think is, Newcastle, they didn't have their best game, but they're still 6. They've still been performing well. Eddie Howe's done a good job. I think Heather said he just can't beat Bournemouth ever. But I mean, what I quite like, and it feels like a little bit like we're getting to a point in time where instead of like managers going from club to club to club to club, it feels a little bit more like people are beginning to appreciate the stability of things and trying to have like a bit of a longer tenure. We'll touch on a certain club in the league at the moment that maybe have sort of done that a little, kept somebody a little bit too long in a management position, but it feels like that's where we should be. And the well-run clubs like your Bournemouth and Newcastle, Brighton and Aston Villa, hopefully Nottingham Forest, to try and to do that a little bit. And but Newcastle, were they just outplayed? They were just outplayed really by Bournemouth, do you think? Or was there something or was it just having the really old Martin Dubravka in goal?
No, I think it was Bournemouth just played them off the field. It was just the Bournemouth show for me, really. It was like they did what they had to and they put on the performance that they do week in and week out at the minute.
It was lovely to see. I mean, and before we sort of like conclude our Premier League roundup, I mean, what some of my favorite, like I said, I haven't been on social media since I think something like December the 20th, something like that. So, it's awesome. Trust me. If you weren't earning alleged millions off it,
I'm not earning millions yet, but I get you.
I'd recommend it. But one of the things that I did when I did come on, one of the things I sort of saw being thrown at you completely when you dared to comment about Arsenal. Dared to comment about the powerhouse of Arsenal, because who are you to comment about us, with all the success that Arsenal have had over the last...
Someone said to me today, just remind me what you're talking about. And please, honestly, please be real with me if I'm being delusional or if I'm wrong. But we were talking about Amarim or something, and this guy just says to me, we're not even on the same stratosphere as you. Don't talk to us down in 13th. You need to be speaking to Southampton. And I'm like, not in the same stratosphere. The same team that just beat you at home with 10 men and knocked you out of the only cup that you were probably going to win that season. Are you well? United, in their worst ever 3-4 years, have won more than Arsenal have in the last 20. It's insane.
It did tickle me, and I sort of think, if you look at the league over the last 10 years...
They haven't won a Premier League in 20 years.
God, I sort of think, United have, don't get me wrong, been pulling up trees the last couple of seasons. But, I think, was it last season?
Two trophies in 2 years. They could only dream of Arteta winning them anything. It's honestly, they've got the like Stoke, but they've got the attitude of Real Madrid. It's crazy.
It sort of feels like...
crazy. They make me angry because they're so deluded, and they all say, you're a United fan, you're deluded. I'm like, we know we're shit, but we've won more than you.
That's what makes me giggle. I don't see any United fans of rational thought sort of saying we're really good, we're much bigger.
Bad. And that's even more embarrassing for them that they can't, they can't even beat us with 10 men at home to get through the first round of the FA Cup. The first round.
It does make me tickle. And Graham's asking, didn't Ten Hag win?
Yes.
I think didn't Ten Hag win more than Arsenal have in the last sort of 10 years? I think there's not a lot of difference, is it?
Arsenal have won 2 trophies in 10 years. So Ten Hag won more, the same that they have in 10 years, and they haven't won a Premier League, and they've never won a UCL ever. Where did they get this amazing superiority complex from? I don't get it. Anyway,
it's good, isn't it? But so I'll give you this opportunity though, because I thought, why not? Because I'm feeling a bit like a shit stirrer this evening. Don't care. And I feel like Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes, when he just asks, don't care. What do you think is going on? Because they're like serial bottlers. I'm loving it. I'm loving the fact that they're throwing points and dropping everything away. But what do you think's appertaining?
I think with a striker and maybe another midfielder, they would be winning the league. If they had an out-and-out number 9 that was putting goals in the back of the net, I don't think anyone could beat them. Honestly, they're well coached. Their defense is really good. I think they've made some good signings, but why have they not got a striker? They were relying on Jesus for a few weeks, and now he's done his ACL. Havertz can't be leading a title-winning line, so I don't know, but
I think it's an Arteta arrogance, because he comes from the Pep school of thought, which is the same as Vincent Kompany. He sort of was under that wing where they decide at some point, for whatever reason, whether it's planned or organically, they'll land on something. And so he landed up. They lost a striker, didn't replace anyone. So it's like he's gone, well, this is how we're playing now. and I'm going to play without the striker. And it's like cutting off his nose to spite his face. And it's the same thing with like Pep sometimes. This is how we're doing it. This is how I play football. Even if I can't win, this is how I'm going to do it. It's just, I love it. It's brilliant. It's absolutely, but I mean, Rebecca on Arsenal, do you think it's that they haven't got a striker, or do you think that all the referees and linesmen don't want Arsenal to win a game, so they all collude together to sort of bring them down and not give them anything? What do you reckon?
No, it's on Arsenal. I mean,
don't say that. That's accountability, Rebecca.
No, it's one of them where, like you've said, I think the lack of striker is massively affecting them because they do have, like as Hannah said, they've got the defence sorted. They have a very strong side, well coached. It is massively the fact that they are missing that main man at the leading the line for them. Like Havertz is a talented player, but there's no way you can have him playing as an out-and-out 9. Like it just doesn't work, and the Arsenal setup doesn't work with him in that position. So I feel as though it is a case of they do need to, with Jesus out, it's one of them to either invest in a striker or try and figure out what to do without one, because it's just the setup doesn't work for them.
I mean, well, Zach thinks it's obvious collusion, obviously, and Graham thinks it's a PGMOL conspiracy. Obviously, Zach's like, this a ref meeting every second Tuesday of the month, so they come together. They're like, "Who's Arsenal playing? Who's got the game? What can we do, guys? Let's try and sort something out to ruin this." Yeah, I totally agree with that, because it's not possible that they're just not playing well enough to win games. That's just that can't be it. I've seen it because somebody wrote it on Twitter, so that's what it is. But just tickle me. I did see a comment I like. It's from Sam. Arsenal like Tony Pulis, who bought a villa in Benidorm but think they were a boat in Monaco.
Literally. When they've won a Premier League or a UCL or even another FA Cup, they can chat to me. But saying to me we're not in the same stratosphere, no, you're below us, mate.
Do you know what? Lucas is like the only sane Arsenal fan.
He is very rational.
And the thing is, it makes you seem like you're sort of bashing them, but it's not. I think it's sort of like balances. If you have that much silliness, you have to balance it with that much real, just to try and tip the scales a little bit. Because if you notice, we don't bash like Man City fans as much because they play really well. So
there's not that many of them to bash.
Well, they've had, to be fair, I think they've all becoming Chelsea fans again now, aren't they? I think that might change. You never know, but you've got to live in the world.
Quick question for you both before we move on. For 3 or 4 new signings for Pep in January, is he buying his way out of trouble?
Obviously.
Do you think I think they're going to have a transfer ban with that Haaland contract, and they never signed 4 players in January? I think they're going to have a transfer ban. It'll be interesting. I hope they have. I hope they've had something. Surely there's something.
Well, I think if they do, if I was Rebecca, I'd be scared, because if Man City break rules, Everton are getting a points deduction, surely.
How if they don't get a points deduction, that will be, which they probably won't, let's be honest, that will be insanely awful. I don't know how they'll have got away with that.
I think it's like within all of their, I know I don't really want to mention it, but all of their 115 charges, there's too many loopholes between them, because not all of them are FFP or PSR. There's loads that are to do with Europe, and there's loads of little bits just dotted everywhere. So it has been rumoured that I think the only thing they are going to get is a fine for all 115 of them charges. Yeah, and I don't want to keep saying it, but Everton and Forest last season, I think you add both of ours together, I don't even think it's half of City's. Everton ended up with 8 points altogether, 10 at first, but then we did get some back. Thank you, Premier League. We appreciate it. And then and then you have Forest with their points deduction. So it's it's completely, they look at it as 2 different worlds, if you can say. With
do you know what's mad? Because City have got away with some of the financial bits because of a lapse of a period of time, because at that point in time, I just refused to cooperate. Can we see your stuff? No. I think that's just brilliant. Because Everton were like, yeah, no, sorry, we made a mistake. You have this. This is our reason behind that. And Sue's like, nah, you're all right, mate. Can we have a look at your books? Nope. It's like, oh, okay. Can you help us with this investigation just to prove your innocence? Nope.
It's mad.
So I think it was last week Everton posted that we have just been cleared of a second PSR charge, I think it was, which is connected to the new ground. And there's like money with that. But then you look at, I think it's West Ham, I think it was, or Tottenham, but they were gifted their ground, didn't have to pay anything for it. They were just given
theirs,
they were just given that ground. Everton have had to work their way to be able to get permission off like Merseyside and the council and everything to then build this ground, which is going to be able to host huge events. But then we're the ones that could have potentially been done again for something like that. So it is really annoying. Thankfully, we have been cleared, so there is no points deduction, touch wood, for Everton this season, but you just never know.
Well, I don't know. It should be missing out, though. Because it feels like an annual thing for you guys now. Season goes, other people do stuff, Everton get points deduction. You'll miss it. You'll miss it when it doesn't happen. But look at this legitimate City fan, apparently. Zach's been a City fan since 1997.
A real one.
He said they've come a long way since Sean Gota and Giorgio. I can never say his last name. Kinclad. I can't say it right. Kinclades.
I'm not going to try and say that.
Kinclades. I love Sean. Go feed the goat and he will score. All that jazz. You know what? City were really likable back then as well. Really, I think Pep spoiled it for you, to be honest with you. But allegedly, he's divorcing from his wife, and that's part of your downfall. So next year, when he does a Brendan Rodgers and gets a trophy wife, you'll be straight back up there.
Trophy wife. You are funny. Aston Villa got beat in the Champions League. I just got a notification. They've not been beat all campaign. Monaco beat them.
How did Liverpool's game go?
You're winning, obviously. Don't worry, Josh. Is that like your C team as well? I've not even looked at your lineup.
I doubt it. We don't play a B team. I think like Snot's like, no, everybody's playing every game. No, pretty much Van Dijk, Alisson, Kwanzaa's in defence with the pass out. But Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Curtis Jones, Diaz, Nunes, Salah they're just doing all the games. They're doing all the games. But what we do, we bring on Endo. And then he's just like, got this, lads. You're fine. He reminds me of James Milner. You bring Endo on.
Yeah, I see that.
And that's like my breath of relief. I'm like, oh, it's all right now. It's going to be neat and tidy. Because I will say, I'm not going to spend like time on Liverpool because I just feel really mean.
What is it? Gloatful? That's not a word.
Yeah, I'm not good. I'm prideful, arsehole, smug twat.
I wasn't going to say arsehole.
Smug twat. I mean, Chiesa's on.
Yeah, smug twat is a good one.
Yeah, but hopefully, I'd like it if Chiesa did well because I feel sorry for him.
Played.
I know. I just.
Has he been injured?
Yeah, he keeps getting injured all the time. And when we brought him in, he was an injury risk, but they were like 15 million. Why not? Just give it a whirl, And he's so happy, and he reminds me of Sonny, and that he's always so happy all the time and wants to do well. But Endo, I just want to put out like an appreciation comment for Endo. He's amazing. He's like the little engine that can. He's got, and people forget, he's so experienced. He's been the captain of Japan for ages. He played in their Stuttgart team. He played really, really well. He's solid. He's got a little engine. I think in the Carabao Cup final, bless him, I thought his legs were going to fall off. He nearly tore both his hamstrings, apparently, at the end of the game. But he's just in there, and he's just brilliant. And he's like, just comes in, neat and tidy. I love it.
That's made me laugh.
Okay, so I wasn't going to say arsehole, but smug twat is okay.
Oh, I don't know. I just feel like arsehole was a bit crass, but I like the word twat. I feel like twat is such a good insult. Sorry, I'm going to stop saying that word.
Twat's
Move
fine,
on.
but arsehole's
Move
very
on,
crass.
Josh.
Very crass arsehole. Is it? If it's a twat.
I do love it. It's like a proper insult. That.
Oh, I can't say the ones that I find really funny because I think we definitely would immediately be shut down because there's some words you just love to
Do you
say.
like a see you next Tuesday kind of vibe?
No, I'm not down with that. So just obscure words for like different body parts. It just makes me giggle. Just makes me laugh. Grace said, can we call it twatter then? As long as you don't call it X.
No, will never call it X. Anyway.
Nah, no, it's done. But let's have a look at Premier League. Let's have a look at the Premier League.
No.
Get rid of this. It's got to be done.
That green for Everton.
I don't want to look at that. Take it off.
Only a minute. We'll just have it for a couple of minutes. It's not up to date because Chelsea won last night. So Chelsea are fourth now. I think Chelsea are fourth. Let me have a look. You could say to me, hey, Josh, why not do the table on a Monday? And I'd say, I'll do what I want. So you can just go and piss up. But but Chelsea are fourth. Chelsea are fourth now at the moment. So Man City are down. But look how tight it is between like 10th and 4th position. There's like, 6 points? Not even 6 points in there. Tight. I'm loving it. I'm thoroughly enjoying that. And I like seeing Nottingham Forest up there. That looks... That's a good look for them. And down at the bottom, obviously Ipswich Town got a bit of a spanking by Manchester City. Bless their little heart. Southampton lost 3-2 to Nottingham Forest. And Leicester City, I believe they also lost. Leicester City, Han, with old rude boy Van Nistelrooy.
I feel so sorry for him. He should have taken... I wish he'd have got the Coventry job instead. I think Leicester's too much. And I don't think that... I'm sorry, respectfully, that Leicester team is crap. Yeah. And I don't think Ancelotti could come in and make that work, to be honest. So I do feel sorry for him. And also, we are going to beat them when they come to Old Trafford for the FA Cup 5th round. So sorry, Rude. I do love him, but sorry.
I mean, I think I said at the time I thought it was the wrong move. Why would you do that to yourself?
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Championship, but.
Yeah, just do something sensible instead of thinking, I'll just get a punt because he'll be in the championship next year anyway.
He won 4 games with us. It was like, but that was our new manager bounce. We didn't get one with Amorim. That was our new manager bounce. So.
And it's like, I could save Leicester. It's like, oh no,
I can save United. I can save Leicester. But obviously, that Leicester team is definitely worse than the United team. So I feel like he's going to struggle.
So Rude, mate, just being handsome doesn't get you everything.
He is fit, isn't he? He's a bit all right.
He's more handsome now than he was when he's at United as a player.
He used to have like long hair and he had like a very long face, but now he's just like aged quite gracefully. Sorry, I'll stop talking about.
Do you know what I think it is? And it's something because I'm not a handsome man by any stretch of the imagination. But what you do is,
Josh.
Well, spade a spade and all that jazz. But what you do is when you shave, if you get that nice line and under it shapes your face better.
Yeah, like very chiseled.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's done. He's put the line to be to shape his face right. Yeah, everybody loves a bit of salt and pepper in the hair. I would have loved a bit of salt and pepper in the hair, but I've just gone for full slap head. But it is what it is. But anyway, enough about how handsome Ruud van Nistelrooy is. There's a different podcast entirely, I imagine. Sam's not enjoying it. He doesn't enjoy that.
Me neither, Sam.
What do you think I feel? We're even lower.
But look,
I feel bad saying this, Rebecca, but like, are you not used to it?
Yeah.
Like every season, it's like Everton going to get relegated. I'm like over the years we've gone like 5th, 6th. Last year was 8th, and that was the worst. So I'm just not used to it. I need to stop being dramatic, I know, but like, yeah, sorry.
But I think there's Everton have got Brighton next away, which I don't see you doing that. Although Moisey could stubborn you out for like a draw potentially, but then you have got Leicester at home. So if
point to that one, isn't
it? If results go your way, you could end up like 4. Do you know what I want? The only thing I want for Everton, and I do want this for Everton, is for them to finish above West Ham. That's all I want.
Why?
Well, because I think they would just shits with David Moyes, really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As a moral guy, because I am moral. I'm a Liverpool fan, but really, I'm just a good guy, and I didn't like how they treated him. So I love the fact that Everton swooped before anybody could sort of panic to pick him up, and if they finish him with West Ham, and if West Ham are like skating on 17th and touching 18th, that'd be so attractive. I'd really enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of West Ham.
And Sean said Everton will be safe, Rebecca. And Sam can clip some. I'm not sure what Sam can clip, but he can clip something. Let's have a look. What are we going? Graham said by saving Leicester, by taking Leicester down, he'd be saving United.
Yeah,
maybe that was his plan.
He needs to do a solid and make sure that Leicester get relegated. Because obviously Southampton are going down.
Yeah.
Leicester are probably going to go down. And I think it will be Ipswich or Wolves. But Ipswich, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Spurs.
Honestly, I've got. I'm not sure if I'm going to go at the moment, but I got tickets for Spurs Nottingham Forest, and I'm umming and ahhing over that because part of me thinks it'd be a good game because Forest will spank them. But
yeah, you should go to that.
Do you know what? It's in the bank holiday weekend though, slap bang in the middle, and I think upset my boss at work, upset my boss at home. I've got to balance them out, and I mean, as you know, I'm not. I know Rebecca isn't married. I'm not sure what your relationship status had, but you will probably. You'll probably attest to when you're ready. Upsetting the boss at home will be the one that you don't want the most.
No, I get that. I understand.
So we shall see, but that'll be a tickle, especially if they like really start struggling. We shall see, but that is the Premier League. La Liga. Like I said, I've been off social media for like a month. I haven't watched a game of football in quite a while. I didn't look at football for the last sort of 3 weeks. It's all gone a bit topsy-turvy. At first, Barcelona looked like they were going to walk with La Liga, and they're not. It looks like and they've actually, I think Barcelona, Sean was saying, they drew, here we are, against Benfica 4-4 this evening. Wowzers!
Oh.
Yeah, against Benfica. Wowzers! What's happening to Barcelona? Because they drew 1-1 with Getafe as well. So I don't quite understand. It's a strange one. I don't quite understand what's happened to Barcelona. Like I say, because it's been so long. Who knows what's going on? What's Valencia? Valencia's still down the bottom, but they've won a game of football. What's happened to your Girona? My Girona? Girona lost against Sevilla, which it makes me sad a little bit because I enjoy Girona being up there a little bit, but I got a feeling Girona, the Man City owned club.
Yes.
Yeah, so I know sympathy only goes so far. I like because it was someone different, but you know, being a sports washing enterprise, I'm afraid it just doesn't wash with me. Zach said Mallorca since 2004. I know Mallorca up there in 6. That's a good one. By the way, Zach, I just to be clear, because I know you've not been watching like a massively long time. I just don't like the sports washing aspect of it. I don't think it's a Man City fan's fault. There's nothing you can do about it. You support your team. What are you meant to do? Anything other than support your team? So ride the big red wave. And just in case you think that Josh is a right self-fornicator, isn't he? So just to let you know. What else has happened? Anything else happened there? Nothing else of note, really. So that is La Liga. Espanyol Valencia down there. If they both get relegated, can you imagine? Oh, the football manager nuts would be they'd be in their element. They're like, I know what my save is next season. And so Syria, what's happening in Syria? Napoli. Where have Napoli come from? I'm not sure if you've looked at I haven't looked at this.
McTominay. He can't stop scoring.
Is he still banging it in?
He's banging them in. He's nearly rated his goals for the whole of last season.
He did score as well. And Lukaku. They were like all the United players are scoring goals.
I'm actually so happy for McTominay. I do miss him. By the way, before I forget, because we're on I think it's actually the Italian league, but United are looking at signing someone from Lecce. Is it Lecce? This is running joke.
We call him Lecce, yeah.
Yeah, Lecce. Apparently, a Lecce wing back is coming to United. I have to tell you that.
I tell you what, you'll bring a spark to your play.
Way. Yeah, Napoli are smashing it. I want them to win. They need to
maybe
win.
Garnacho should go there then, you know, and
I
have a
would
little
way
United
right. If he
reunion.
wants to go to Napoli, fine, but just not Chelsea.
Because they were looking like a little bit at the start of the season, like it wasn't quite going to happen for them. But I mean, as Zach said, they've turned it round and they're happening. Heather's saying Napoli. I'm assuming we're talking about Napoli. Their second team is Billings gone there.
Billings just gone. Napoli, Porto Napoli.
Yeah, I've never minded Napoli. You know, who's their man? Is it the big smoker? Is he still the manager? Name escapes me. He was at Chelsea for a bit, I think.
I've forgotten his name.
Oh God,
I'm so bad with names.
We are so professional. I mean, like Napoli manager. Oh, it's Conte.
Oh yeah, how did I forget that? Yeah.
I was thinking of like the
I don't know how I forgot that because Conte apparently Conte's been on the phone to Garnacho, and I was like, you can go away, sir.
Oh, do you know what? I hope he does well because it's nice to see people leave Spurs and win things. That's always. Although Harry Kane seems to be cocking that up for everybody.
Did you see? It's fine, Josh. You're forgetting that Ange wins in his second season. They're winning something. They are winning something. It has to happen.
I did see, but as a sidebar, we're not on the Bundesliga, but as a sidebar, when Harry Kane, a top goal scorer in Germany, have you seen what their trophy is? Do you know we have the Golden Boot in this country?
Yeah, that is so extra, isn't it?
Do you know what they have in Germany when you're the top goal scorer? The trophy that Harry Kane has now in his house. It's a cannon. It's an Arsenal-looking cannon.
A cannon? Why don't you universally do a boot? Because you've got a golden boot. She scores the most goals. Why would you not just do a boot?
Yeah, I know it's good. I just saw a picture of it. Harry Kane's first trophy since leaving Spurs is a gunner. I think that's just brilliant. And Zach say, remember, Napoli played this well without Victor Osimhen, who's on loan to Galatasaray. And Sam said, Napoli, beautiful shirts, wonderful shirts. Ruddy, beautiful. That is true. That is true of most Serie A teams, to be fair. But what did Lecce do? Lecce got battered. I was going to get excited. Got battered. Venezia down in 19th. That makes me sad as well because they do beautiful kits. They drew 1-1 with Parma. But anything of note, Roma won a game. Do you know what? I tell you what I did pick up on. All the red cards. There was a load of red cards in Serie A. Let me break it down for you. Let me break it down. What was it this weekend? There was 2 red cards in Como Udinese, 1 for each team. Lecce had a red card. Verona had a red card. Torino had a red card. Oh, isn't that lovely? They're all getting red cards together. That is superb. And Zach saying Venezia has the best ground in football. I'm not sure if he means agriculturally, like you can grow some really good crops there, or if he's referring to the stadium and the playing surface, or the stands. Who knows? But they're the best, and I appreciate that. And over in the Bundesliga, again, I followed nothing in football recently, so who knows what's been going on. But Leverkusen still only lost 1 game, and I think Xavi Alonso's proving perhaps he's not just a flash in the pan, not a one-season wonder. They've only lost 1 game. What did they do? Did they win a game this weekend? Yes, they did, against Mönchengladbach. What a team. What a team name. And it's a good one. What happened in the Bundesliga? Shall we have a look? Shall we have a little goosey gander? Anything interesting? Oh, Union Berlin won a game. That's always nice to see. We like a bit of Union Berlin winning. But did Harry Kane score? Do you think Harry Kane scored, Han?
No.
How about you, Rebecca? Go for Harry Kane?
I was trying to figure out if John Joe Kenny plays for Union Berlin then. I know he plays.
Well, he didn't. It was Michael Olise.
Yes, I was right.
And Goretzka. Goretzka, by the way, used to have massive guns, and they've shrunk a little bit recently. I'm not sure what's going on, but work out them arms, Goretzka. I'm not going to want to hug you otherwise.
Not eating as much protein.
That's what he's come off his Atkins diet. That's probably what it is now. You know, he's no longer 3 steaks Pam anymore. Yeah, I'll be watching Gavin and Stacey, but why not? But the Bundesliga table currently goes at the top on 45 points is Bayern München, and 4 points behind them is Never Leverkusen, and 5 points behind them is Eintracht Frankfurt, and 4 points behind are Stuttgart, who are 1 point ahead of Leipzig, who are 3 points ahead of Mainz, who are 1 point ahead of Wolfsburg, are the same points of Freiburg, who are 1 point ahead of Werder Bremen, who are 1 point ahead of Dortmund, who are 1 point ahead of Gladbach, who are 2 points ahead of Augsburg, who are 2 points ahead of Union Berlin, who are 3 points ahead of St. Pauli, who are the same points as Hoffenheim, are 3 points ahead of Heidenheim, who are 3 points ahead of Holstein Klein, and 1 point ahead of Bochum on the bottom. And that is the Bundesliga. That's a nice way to end it. Pauli, Hoffenheim, Heidenheim, Holstein Klein. I like that. It's almost like I wrote it, but I didn't because I've not got that sort of influence. And Zach saying lots of translation here in the States. When this is stadium, the surrounding area. Do you know what, Zach? It's not. I was just being an ass. So I knew exactly what you meant, but just to be a dick, I pretended that I didn't enact it all ambiguous. But I appreciate your good humour and taking it. But I bet it is, and it's Italy. So it's obviously the surrounding area is going to be much nicer than the Premier League that we have here, because England isn't very pretty. But ever the views, PSV still at the top, but they lost. They lost the game of football. 3-1 to Pexwali. And you haven't been on for a while, Han. You need to have a go at some of the pronunciations of the Eredivisie teams, because it's a hoot. But PSV, 19 games, 62 goals. Banging it in.
When United played 20 in the Europa League, I was making a TikTok, and the amount of TikTok videos and the amount of YouTube videos I watched before for how to pronounce it, and it was just 20. But I was like, I don't want to sound like a moron. How do I pronounce this?
It sounds like a moron. You got to embrace it. Do you know what? My 2 favorite teams. If you look at the last, I say the last on the right hand side. No, the right hand side, the bottom team. NEC Nijmegen, Fortuna Sittard.
Isn't that Sittard?
I don't know. Sounds better when you say Sittard.
I thought you like Warwick.
Warwick. Yeah, they drew 1-1 with Sparta Rotterdam. Warwick. And have a go of. So I want to give you, Han. Who did Ajax play?
Herenveen.
I don't know.
Herenveen.
Where's another good one for you? Who did Go Ahead Eagles?
Where are you? Oh, Groningen. At least next year I won't have to worry about making TikToks for the Europa League, because we won't be in Europe. So I can have a year off.
Do you know what? There's some good ones. You had Pexwali against PSV.
I know. I've been to Zwolle, so I know that. But
is it Zwolle? So you've been to Zwolle.
I'm being proper man, can't I?
Zwolle.
Yes, Alkmaar.
You got to give it. Do you know what? I always end up going German with it. I go Achmar, which I don't think it is, because there's an L in there, isn't it? I really don't think that the Dutch would appreciate the sort of German connotation, you know. I do apologize. It's not like I'm Elon Musk or anything. And anyway, other games. So PSV is still at the top, followed closely by Ajax. Who won 2-0 against Levine. And Juventus Tracht in third place. Feyenoord in fourth. Who was in fifth? And you could say the fifth one.
20.
20. Achzed Achmar in 6. Go Ahead Eagles in 7. Fortuna, I Tuna, Eat Some Tuna, and Shit Harder in 8th. Then in 9th position, Nach Breden. In 10th, Hilveen. 11, and in 12th, Wilhelm the second. Not as good as Wilhelm the first, but a worthy successor. In 13th, Pexwali. 14th is Hercules. 15th is Groningen. 16th is Sparta Rotterdam. Anywhere, Liverpool or Rome. And 17th, Almere. And at the bottom, looking like they're going to get relegated. Warwick.
You're not going to be able to say it next season if they get relegated.
Warwick. It's devastating. And Zach's got a very worthy question that you expect to find on an award-winning podcast. Did he say shit hard?
It's hard.
Maybe not intentionally, or was it?
Don't put it past him, Zach.
And you know what? I didn't put in the SPFL this week because I don't know if they had any SPFL games. But Rebecca, tell us, was there a specific game that you wanted to talk about? Ready for this, Anne?
Oh.
The floor is yours.
Yes, there was. So it was the Scottish Cup yesterday. I think it was the 4th round. And it was Dundee versus Dundee United. So it was yet again another Dundee derby. And Dundee won 1-0, which I was very happy about. It was a huge win for Dundee. They bounced back well from the previous Dundee derby that they got beaten. So they have been on a very positive run of form at home. They got a draw with Rangers. The chaos of last Tuesday's podcast when I was sat watching Dundee and Celtic, they got a 3-3 draw on that one. And then last night, they were able to beat their rivals. It was a very positive performance from Dundee. Simon Murray opened the scoring very early on. And I didn't really know how it was going to go from that point because I think it was in like the first 53 seconds Dundee took the lead. And it was very good for it to be Simon Murray because he is a Dundee lad himself and he is a big fan of the club. So it's like every Dundee player knows what the derby means to the team and everything, but he really understands it from like a fan perspective, he was saying in his interview afterwards. It was a very entertaining match to watch. It did get stressful towards the end. I think Dundee United did come out in the second half fighting and towards the end of the
Oh no. Oh no! How am I going to know what happened in Dundee against Dundee? All I know is that Dundee played quite well, and then Dundee came back, and then Dundee sort of threatened, and then Dundee scored a goal, and then Dundee came up in the second half, all guns playing, and Dundee managed to hold on as Dundee really put Dundee under some pressure, and then Dundee come out the eventual winners in Dundee against Dundee. It was a done deal watching Dundee.
Go on, Dundee.
Yeah, not a crocodile to be seen.
We lost her.
And yeah, I was so excited. You know, it was the pressure, I think, on her Wi-Fi of just
Absolutely.
of just carrying the weight of the pod on her shoulders. Then, but she had enough. There were too much Dundee. She just couldn't cope. And then one more league, which, as you noticed, we don't, you don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about PSG. No. We don't talk about PSG because you've wrecked the league. And so they've made it absolute partial. PSG, well done for ruining league. But I do know. Look. She's back for more Dundee and when it's Dundee against Dundee and then Dundee play well. I got as far as, if I remember correctly, Rebecca, it was Dundee against Dundee, and Dundee started off quite well, and then Dundee scored, and then Dundee then really come under pressure. Then Dundee made a couple of changes before the break. Then Dundee came out, and Dundee put Dundee under a bit of pressure, and then Dundee managed to hold on. I wasn't sure what happened.
Yeah, so you've got the basics of it. But yeah, it was a good, entertaining match. Very happy for Dundee for winning. The clean sheet was huge. They've been struggling to keep a clean sheet recently. So huge shout out to Trevor Carson, who is the keeper for Dundee. He has been brought in for Kraken, I think it is.
The child in me really wants to make a Phil joke.
He was on loan at Aki last season, and that was his nickname.
That's his dad, isn't it?
So that one's already been said. And of course, for me, it was great because it also meant a clean sheet for Ryan Astley, who had another full 90 and has cemented his place in the team very well. So it's really good to see. The Dundee squad is starting to gel, and it is looking a very strong side at the minute with Simon Murray, Lyle Cameron, then you've got quite a few others that are doing very well. And yeah, they have Celtic on Saturday again. They've only just played them. It feels like they just keep repeating the same teams at the minute, but it will be a tough one because it is away. So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, it's quite a good time in the Scottish Cup and Scottish Prem at the minute.
So congratulations to Dundee and commiserations to Dundee. And I think, I mean, and this is France. Stuff's happening in France. I haven't got Sam with me, but fortunately, I do know that underneath Marseille, who I wish nothing but negativity and bad times, which for reasons that I'm sure Han will be aware, but we're not going to go into with Marseille.
Guys, look. For those of you listening, Barcelona won 5-4
against Benfica. What is that all about? Ooh, Benfica. But and Sean, in fairness, Sean did try and educate us as well. 5-4 effort, solid effort. But yeah, after Marseille is Lille, and I know that's Lille. Normally I get confused on who LOS is, and Sam has to tell me. But we played them this evening, so I know that's Lille. Then Monaco are up in fourth, and then you know what? It's nice in fifth. Lyon in sixth. Who's bottom? Montpellier, Le Havre, and Saint Etienne. And then nothing else except we're not going to make any sort of crude jokes about team in ninth position because we're not the Champions League team on Paramount here. So we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. I'm really tired and really, really hot. It's boiling here. What a late evening. I feel up Rebecca, well done on fighting all the way through this evening, flying the flag for us. I was really nervous when Hannah wasn't here at the start. I thought, oh my God.
I know, I'm so sorry, guys.
I thought if it's just me and Rebecca, the pressure on Rebecca.
No, I was sat in traffic like, oh my God. It took me like 2 hours to get home, so I am so sorry.
I did say to Rebecca before, I've driven through like Manchester and it sucks. It sucks ass at the best of time. And it's really hard.
It's like, this will take you 31 minutes. It was like 1 hour 52. I was like, there's no way. So I am very sorry.
Do you drive accidentally through a bus lane? Because that's always my thing in Manchester.
Yeah,
bus lane.
I'm going to go have some tea. I'm starving.
Oh, marvellous. Well, Rebecca, everyone's going to want more Rebecca Shaw. Where can they get more Shaw?
Come find me here, _Rebecca _Shaw_, and that is on Twitter and TikTok. My Her Game 2 content is Her Game 2 ASFC, and we have a lot of posts from over the weekend that we'll be sharing, including a very nice team photo of all of the Aki lads wearing the Her Game 2 logo, which is just really nice to see. And then you can find my Formula One content with the amazing Jen, who is on the Lower League podcast, and that is with Girls in the Grandstand.
Oh, superb. And Graham is saying, you want to try London on the M25? No, I don't. But he does want a cowboy hat. Let's bear that in mind. Hannah, if people want to find you for nice reasons,
please, nice reasons. I can't read any more abuse. My Twitter is @UnitedHan. My TikTok is Han Talks Football. It's the same for my Instagram. But if you follow me on Twitter, all of my other links are in my bio, so it's nice and easy. But thank you for asking, Josh. Where can we find you now? You're not on.
Do you know what? You can't. I am nowhere. I am nowhere.
Now.
I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Blue Sky. I'm nowhere.
Good for you.
I'm lurking. I'm just hiding in my house, spending time with my wife and kids. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? But most importantly, though, people, please do follow the podcast. We are Absolute Ball Pod on Twitter and YouTube at Absolute Ball Podcast, as most of you will be aware. And if you are there, please do hit the subscribe button, because every time you do, an angel gets its wings, which is such a beautiful thing to see. If you're on Twitch, Absolute Football Podcast, and on the tick, boom, we are not banned. We're still available in America. We are at Absolute Football Pod. On Instagram, Absolute Football Podcast _ we are on Blue Sky. I think Sam posted it at Absolute Football. On Facebook, the Absolute Football Podcast. And of course, if you enjoyed this evening, where we are Premier League and European football, is Tuesdays, not Mondays anymore, Tuesdays at 8:30 everywhere. And on Wednesdays, if you like women's football, if you want to know about women's football, if you need to learn more about women's football, anything about women's football, Wednesdays with the Team Chaos. They are there at 8:30 on YouTube, Twitter, and all that jazz. On Thursday, for all English football from the Championship right the way down. Check out the Wowdy Wabble headed up by Arsha on Thursdays at 8:30. And thank you, everybody. It's been lovely to see you. And if you need us, we'll always be here for you, except for me, because I'm hiding under a tree. Have a very pleasant evening. TTFN.